The Lord showed me an American flag, and the American flag was transformed into a $100 bill. And the $100 bill was waving in the wind, and all of a sudden it started to transform into some kind of digital code, like almost like crypto code. And the crypto, it was moving and it was alive, and it was all kind of like an internet math code, and it was moving and moving and moving. And I said, Lord, what is this? And the Lord said, the dollar's about to turn into a digital dollar. And he said, it will be worth half than what it's worth right now. So a $100 bill would be worth $50. And so he showed me the banks all went bankrupt. All the money that was in the banks, every person that had money in there, no matter if you were really rich or if you were poor, whatever was in the banks, they seized it all. The money was now property of the bank somehow. I don't know how they did it, but all the loans that you have on your house and on your cars and everything, I saw that all of it, they would call it a debt jubilee. And because they couldn't foreclose and take everybody's houses and everybody's cars because of the dollar crashing, they just wiped it out, and they created a new platform. They created a new digital dollar with this. And then the Lord showed me lines for people standing at Target stores for trying to get food, but they weren't dressed like in poverty looking clothes. They still had nice clothes on. It's like it happened so suddenly. It was like an overnight deal.
So imagine it's December of 2024, long after the Bitcoin halving, and many of these prophetic coins have breached over $1, such as XLM, XRP, Electroneum, and Cardano. Now, as a result, many of us have made many millions, and we decide to now sell and take some profits in the millions. Now the question now arises, exactly where do we put these millions? Because according to this brother's prophecy, the US dollar will lose half of its value. And I imagine this will also affect all stablecoins, because they're pegged one-to-one with the US dollar. So what other safe and stable alternatives will we have to secure our profits? Because even after we've liquidated some of these profits and reinvest in gold, silver, land, and real estate, we will still need a safe stablecoin to store the bulk of it. Now, since we would be selling from the top of the markets, the next best and safest alternatives to stablecoins, which are XLM, XRP, and Cardano, would not be a wise choice. Because we all know that after the markets have peaked, it will all come crashing right back down to zero. And so for the time being, we're all going to need a safe and stable option to store the bulk of our profits, so that we can buy back from the bottom again. Now, by now we all know that Tether is most definitely not an option. And that stablecoin was a scam from the very beginning. And except the Lord builds a house, the workers labor in vain that built it. And what about USDC? Well, let's say for some reason that USDC will not be affected by this 50% dollar devaluation. I still believe that they would need a whole lot more liquidity to serve the high demand. And what of the Binance stablecoin? Well, there are many prophecies of Binance collapsing in the future. And if that is the case, which I believe it will, BUSD will most definitely not be a safe option. And as for the DAI stablecoin, personally I believe that this stablecoin will do well in the long term. But because it's collateralized by a basket of cryptocurrencies, whenever the markets flatline and tumbles down to zero, I can't imagine its stability being unaffected. Now we've heard a prophecy of another stablecoin which is coming, but we have no idea when this will be. But the question remains, where would all that liquidity go if for whatever reason Bitcoin and or Tether starts to collapse and the panicked investors starts to look for alternative means or lifeboats to secure their finances? Of course, they would run to USDC, but as I've said before, it would most certainly not have enough liquidity to serve the demand. And there's that slight possibility that USDC as well could be affected and start depegging. And in such a scenario, just where would these panicked investors be heading for safety? What other options are there? Well, here's one that I've been thinking about. What if that is the reason why these meme coins such as Volt Inu, Shiba Inu, BNB Lion, BNB Tiger, Dogecoin, and some of the rest will spike all the way up to the dollar level and beyond. I'm telling you the truth, in such a scenario, it would make perfect sense. Just think about it. If the US dollar loses half of its value, the other half of its value has to be distributed elsewhere. As you all know, beloveds, money is energy, and that energy has to go somewhere. And the same thing will apply if Tether just suddenly collapses. All of that liquidity, all of that money, all of that energy has to go somewhere. And if investors cannot find a safe place to escape to, they will FOMO into coins that are appreciating at the time. And I know this from experience, beloveds. I've seen it happen before. And so many have always wanted to know just exactly when will these meme coins, such as BNB Tiger, BNB Lion, and Shiba Inu will take off. And I'm telling you right now, it will be when the Titanic sinks, when the big cryptos or stablecoins tumbles. So in order for these little ones to rise, the giants have to fall. And the market dominance and liquidity for Bitcoin has to be shifted tremendously to these smaller market cap coins. So beloveds, I hope that you've gained some understanding of what I've been trying to explain, and that you will also use this knowledge in some way to your advantage. Now, these are just some things that I've been pondering, and I thought that I'd share it with you all. Now may Yah bless and keep you all, beloveds. Love from a brother in Christ.